Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy LB here. Look, I just want to take the time because I've got to make these videos every single day. And so today's going to be my thank you video. And also, you get a chance to see what I was researching this morning. So, without further ado, let me go off with my random list of thank yous. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come to these moments of insight, awareness, intelligence, fortitude, structure, organization, and pursuit going forward in doing anything and everything that I've been doing recently. I did run into some really rough patch yesterday that kind of threw me a little sideways, but I maintained. But it was with my lady. I just spoke about her yesterday, and I was so excited to share her with everybody, as far as like how I'm excited that she's in my life. And then she ran into a situation where her kidneys almost shut down, and she was gonna have to be taken to the hospital. But fortunately enough, we're gonna try to attack this thing with some antibiotics and curve everything off to try to kill this bacteria. I mean, listen, guys and gals, bacteria is such a pain in the butt. I mean, I think I've been fighting it for the most part. Whenever I had my bad illness that kicked on about a couple of years ago and just ran its course, I think I had kept a large part of some parasites or bacteria in my body that just completely wrecked my performance. And it took me quite a bit to get around it. Matter of fact, one of the things I did, which was kind of alternative to medicine, because I wasn't getting the right answers. Doctors, man, they're human like us, and they know what they know, and they have certain experience from what they've gained from working with different clients, of course. We're not idiots. We understand what doctors bring to the table, but sometimes they just do not take it the full thread. But anyways, I'm going to show right here, and I don't know if this will show up on the camera, but let's see if I can show where it's at. Yeah. So if you can see, there should be some dots right here. Boom, boom, boom. Anyways, I did this stuff called Cambo, which is using the toad's serum off of its back. And somebody would say that's poison or toad poison. Not it doesn't have any natural predators in the wild. So it has no reason to have defense mechanisms. At least that's the argument. And scientists are already making the opposite argument, which is, again, no one can interview the toad to know anything. So whether a predator or whether something that is prey has a defense mechanism, and that's the reason why it has it, is to defend off these predators, it's just completely, we make that shit up. I hope everybody realizes that. I mean, it just seems to fit in some kind of common sense fashion or whatever, but there's nothing. We can't go and poll or investigate or have a conversation with the Almighty to get that knowledge. We come up with that. But anyways, I put that stuff on to me. It's not me personally, it's a shaman. They burn some pores, they stick that in there, it goes through the body, and what it does, you can feel the medicine move through the body, and it hits the areas that are just not okay, starts to restructure it, reconfigure it, and this is happening like instantaneous, like within 20 to 30 seconds. And at least I'll respond really well with it. And so you swell up like a toad a little bit, and then like I just feel like, that's what I do. I go, and I head to the toilet where I begin purging out both ends, and that is my experience in dealing with Cambo. But it seemed to help me get rid of a lot of parasitic stuff or bacteria. And I may have to go back again some other time. I don't really know. Still waiting to find out on that whole journey. But needless to say, I do try to eat as much food as I can. I'm a pretty big eater. But anyways, you can see what I was looking up today. I just threw out my thank yous. I'm very thankful to be in this position, be in this spot to make these videos and to keep something going consistently. But since I was just on a recent kick with smoking some herb, and I've been going, man, why does my body feel all out of whack? I mean, I was so on before. Like, what's happened now? Like, I can feel things detract or go a little sideways. And so I was like, well, it's probably because I toked up before. And so let me see how long it's going to take for me to unwind it. If you've been sitting here trying to read this article as I've been yapping in your ear or reading this little summary here, you can see that it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get your system right. Now, I'm aware of this endocannabinoid system because that thing is throughout your entire body. So you can have different problems going off here and there. And you think, well, that can't be associated with herb. Weed only affects my lungs. It only affects my stomach, maybe. No, it's everything. It affects something down in your leg. I mean, you got to see where this stuff spreads out. It's into the kidneys. It's throughout your entire body in different spots. So I want to know, when does my system reacclimate? And there it is, 2 to 3 weeks, and sometimes a month or longer, probably. It said months, yeah, or for a few months, eventually disappearing altogether. So that recovery phase is a while, and it's kind of a little saddening, but it is what it is. I have to go through this journey. But the reason why I say it's saddening is that I'm getting ready to go on a trip where we're all going to be blasting it up. So this is kind of a little detracting and aggravating that I'm going to restart my recovery in like a couple weeks. Whatever. I've had it worse on a recovery session than this, but this is still pretty annoying. Like, to give you an example for why I even looked this up, I'm having these sensitive areas kind of around on my hip, and I'm just like, I don't know what that is, but it sucks. Like, it feels like it's something going on with your bladder, or up a little bit something dealing with your stomach or something you ate, but it just goes in and out, and don't know much to deal with it. Sometimes it's muscular related, I feel like. I don't really know. Sometimes I feel like it's getting better. This is why I say that when you mess with that system, you you make a cascade of changes through the body, and then you got to readjust. Anyways, so that's that. I wonder if I could probably do it through here. Yeah, so I'm sitting down here in the corner. What do you want to talk about today? Let me see if I can get myself squared up here. Transform center. Pow. So what do you want to talk about today? What's on your mind? Well, that's a bad question. I'm telling you what the heck's on my mind. I've got a few subject pieces that I want to check out today. Heck, I might even just do it with you right now. One of those is checking out what's going on with caffeine, because I don't drink caffeine. I have a lot of pretty decent good energy, and so I love caffeine. Don't get me wrong, I love coffee, but I'm considering going back into it to get an extra bump, because lately, and this has been post smoking for like the last days, I've been in this yawn situation where I'm just like I'm too tired. Like, I don't take naps. And so I'm over here going, well, is my hormones thrown off and all this kind of stuff. This is the reason why I've addressed this endocannabinoid system. But let's put that to the side. I still want a kick or a bump in my system, and caffeine can be that trigger. Try to use the right words for it, but it agitates or it activates or whatever it does the central nervous system. So you got to think that area is where your where all your connectivity is going on, where your brain is reactive and things are happening. And so if you're having a you're having a nerve signal that is firing, and it gets a chance to fire more, and it keeps firing more, that means your activation will produce usually better results as far as your awareness in your body. The reason why I'm kind of speaking in this little weird explanation way of what this is happening in the CNS is because whenever you're in the gym, one of the things I've discovered as I've gotten older and I'm about to approach my 40s is when you're working out at the gym, the one main thing that seems to determine how well you're going to do as far as putting on muscle, getting bigger, maintaining muscle, whatever it is, strength, I don't care what it is having that mind muscle connection. And all of that seems to be involved in the central nervous system. So if you're having all those neurons firing, that's perfect. And then your body's having that connection. So I apply that same philosophy to other areas in my life where the body begins to start to deteriorate and go down, and the telomeres and all that blah 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 jazz. There is something that's also happening on a neurological level, that the system begins to get a little fatigued or it gets lazy. And I don't think a lot of people, or I won't say a lot of people, but maybe it is a lot of people. When they're getting older, you lose awareness. That's just also part of the process. You think, well, if I'm not having these, mind connections with different parts of my body and organs, well, I probably also can't keep track of it mentally as well. Like, that'll fade too. Yeah, so there's a fading across the whole landscape. Even with the way I used to speak a lot more intelligent than I am right now, but that's okay. I'm not frustrated. I wonder why they put old people in the White House. I never understand this. I don't care about the wisdom. What wisdom? Like this, older people play jokes on younger people. That's my opinion. They take advantage of the lack of knowledge that younger people have. And they do that throughout the course of the younger person's life. It's just my opinion. Could be completely wrong. And older people think they get away with some level of it, and then they also experience a slip, because thank God there is that, because there could be diabolical advantage takings of people that are younger when they possess a pretty good knack of knowledge, but they lack the wisdom. So the wisdom is like knowing it's like having that flow of understanding that you can avoid certain pitfalls that a young person is just going to run right into, And so when the older person knows this, they have that way of being able to see the world in front of them. They'll take advantage of the younger person. They'll lead them along these journeys. They'll convince the younger population that, we need to be in office too. We need to rake in all of these resources to maintain, because we know what better for this planet, and we've been here longer, and we know how to maintain it better than you newcomers that are coming on board. And it's like, no. The only maintenance that older people do is maintain their positions. That is it. They maintain their status quo. The planet has already been self-sufficient without older people. It does not care about that. Well, granted, we can be some good caretakers of this place. I'm not saying that we don't have a role here. We can have a very good role. Okay? We're born out of this stuff. But I'm just not seeing the silver lining of older people managing all this stuff well. There needs and has to be some kind of overlap. And it's at a point now where we don't even need humans at all. We should really figure out the overlap now with AI. But something tells me that those people that are older, that are lacking those brain cells that we keep giving them so much credit of having, are going to also disrupt that flow of opportunity coming into our lives and world. And somebody says, well, it's the wisdom of the older folks to know that something like that could really, really do some damage in our society. They see things because no. Look, if it's going to be a problem, it's going to be a problem. And you can't sit down here and critically analyze every single action. You'll make the slowest progress or no action at all. And I'm not encouraging people to just full on just like, make everything online, automate everything, I'm trying to take the mid approach and use sampling and testing in smaller areas, taking data, seeing how this whole thing works. There's a way to go about it being slow and at the same time be quick. But what I'm seeing is stagnation, slowness, like we're inability, like we're not gonna really implement AI for the masses. It's already been taken advantage of by the elites on this higher level. It's just gonna keep getting exploited. What? Why would we expect anything different? We've not seen anything different in our history from technology or technological standpoint, or from a capitalistic standpoint, where people that have, and those that have not don't. And they just continue to rape and pillage that whole process. And then they say, oh, well, I worked hard. Not everybody that's rich has worked hard for that. Or their parents worked hard for. Some of them raped and pillaged their way in, which creates a really bad stain on history. I mean, I can speak of somebody here personally who's a billionaire that I know. Well, I can't say I'm friends with him. We bump hands. But I have spent time with a contact that knows them. I've met them personally. I've spent time at their huge, nice estate. And they feel very uncomfortable and guilty in the world because they know that their money, all of the billions, came from occupying land long ago and just stealing resources and maintaining control that way. They've never had to work for anything. They don't even think the same way as a person like me communicating to you communicates. They don't understand that. They have like a lack of empathy and compassion. But they don't, it's not even their fault. It's just something that didn't develop in them or didn't grow. That's why I try to tell people, like, whoever you think you are not. And you are. Because you pulled from this space. You can't get it from anywhere else. It didn't just magically arrive. Like English didn't magically arrive and you just started going off like this, communicating. No, something had to be formally inputted into you as data, and then you had an output. Anyways, I'm going to be rambling on for a while. I've already got 17 minutes in on this one. I said my thank you. You saw what I was researching earlier. I was about to look up some more stuff on caffeine. Let's see if I can pull that up. We'll see what we find on this random session. Okay. I don't know how to spell caffeine. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about this one today. I was like, I bet a mushroom could probably produce the same thing. Smoothies, golden milk? God, look at all this stuff. So some of these aren't. Like this chicory root is not stimulant. I need to look up stuff that is like stimulant related. Yerba mate? I think yerba mate has caffeine in it. Okay, cool. So here's something else that most people are dealing with issues with adenosine receptors. So I'm going to ask if this affects adenosine. It does. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more, but you can see where my mind is going for this investigation. But that's enough for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm happy that you even watched this video. If you do watch the video, I'll see if I put a good tagline or a good title description. But anyways, love and peace. And I'm going to start my day in building out my business. So have fun.